Welcome to Mental Health Monday. Happy Monday. I'm your host, Amanda. This is where we talk about advocacy, resources, and ending the stigma associated with mental health. Today, our topic of discussion is borderline personality disorder, aka BPD. Now, if you're looking for signs and symptoms, this is not where you're going to find it. We're not going to get into the nitty-gritty signs and symptoms today because, like we always say, we don't want you to self-diagnose. If you do think borderline personality disorder is something that you have or you struggle with, please do your own research, talk to your care team, and discuss it with your therapist. Now, on to the good stuff. BPD is basically a personality disorder that is based around fear of abandonment. Now that's just very, very short synopsis of what it is. There is so much more that goes into BPD than that, but that is the main idea behind BPD and why it manifests. BPD normally affects individuals in their interpersonal relationships. Because of that fear of abandonment and because that perceived threat, it is going to impact each and every relationship that the individual has. Now, the misconception with borderline personality disorder is that you can never be in a stable relationship, you can never be in a secure relationship. Everything's always gonna be messy, you're always gonna be emotionally dysregulated, yada, yada, yada. Well, we're here to bust that stigma and say that's very untrue. A lot of the symptoms associated with BPD can be helped by therapies like DBT, dialectical behavior therapy, and CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, both of which we've talked about previously, so go check out those videos. A huge reason why BPD develops, not the sole reason, but a big reason why BPD develops is because of trauma that we've experienced. You know, maybe it's a childhood trauma, maybe, you know, our parent left us, you know, maybe we experienced something really, really heavy that really, really impacted us. So our brains as children had to work around that trauma, thus developing the borderline personality disorder. And so it's something that you'll really have to work through and work with your care team, work with your therapist, work with the people in your life. But the symptoms can be managed and mitigated through therapy. So that's something really, really, really important that I want to say. If you do have BPD or you do have a BPD diagnosis, it is so important to keep that hope in your heart and know that you can have healthy interpersonal relationships. It may just take some hard work, some time, and some healing. So there are 4 types of borderline personality disorder. The first one being discouraged, also known as quiet. Then we have impulsive borderline personality, petulant borderline personality, and self-destructive borderline personality. Now you can kind of guess what each of these mean based upon their names. I think they're pretty self-explanatory, but I would take it upon yourself to go and do the research, look up what each of those mean, what those look like for you in your own personal journey. If you do have BPD or know somebody that has BPD, I would suggest researching those things and looking into them to see if maybe you fit one more than the other. I am a huge believer that knowledge is power, and the more that we know about what we're experiencing, the more that we can help symptom management and tell the people in our lives how to help us through our healing process. So that's all for today. Thank you for joining us in our journey of learning about borderline personality disorder, or BPD. Now remember, don't self-diagnose, talk to your care team, do your research, and really find what fits for your specific healing journey. And remember that people with BPD can go on to live healthy, meaningful lives and have healthy, meaningful interpersonal relationships. You are not destined to be emotionally dysregulated. Management is available and it can happen, and you can live a securely attached life. Thank you for joining us for Mental Health Mondays. We will see you next week. Bye.